Hello everyone, I'm here to bring you a video to help your feet feel better and to stay healthy. And I also have a mock lacrosse ball that I'm using, so you can use any type of therapy ball, massage ball, lacrosse ball, tennis ball. Honestly, this is softer than a lacrosse ball, and I think it's a little bit important to have something that's a little bit softer. This is called a therapy ball from yogatuneup.com. And we sell these in our yoga studio, which is why I have one. But a tennis ball does work, just the pressure of the tennis ball is different depending on if it's deflated or not. So it's finding something that has a little bit of a squeeze to it, but not too much to where, it's like a stress ball. So we're gonna get started seated. And what I want you to do is bring the bottoms of your feet together and then just place the ball next to the feet. And we're just gonna kind of start to self-massage the feet a little bit to start, just to kind of move the feet around. So noticing if the fascia is super tight in the bottoms of the feet, noticing if it's maybe more of the top of the foot. So you can always run the fingers down the top of the foot during this time as well. And I'm just kind of making circles. So I'm putting pressure into each fingertip differently. And then I'm working all the way up to like right where the toes meet. And then from there, I'm gonna work back towards the arch of the foot. So again, just a little bit of self-care for you to do when you're seated at home, or you can do this any point. And then just kind of move the feet a little bit. So noticing if your foot, so we'll start with the right, can move, and maybe your toes are gonna pop, but just kind of like pulling the foot towards you, and then slowly pushing the toes and the foot away from you. And then just rounding it towards you, pushing it away. So again, just kind of checking the mobility. And then from there, we can work into the ankle mobility. So see if you can make 3 circles to the right, and then 3 circles to the left. Good. From there, we're just gonna take our foot, place it down, and then switch. So once you get your foot in your hand, finding that mobility, can you circle it around? Good, and then the opposite direction, kind of assist it if it's having some trouble. And then give a little pull down, and maybe the toes pop, maybe they don't. And then a push back, and then notice like how far can you actually push your toes back before your foot decides it doesn't want to go anywhere, and maybe that foot is super tight compared to the other. And you can always take the foot and kind of move it side to side from right here in the middle. So I can kind of show you that from the bottom. It's like a left and right maneuver where you just try to get see if you can get the foot to move from side to side. All right? From there, I'm gonna push into my feet, and I'm gonna take the ball, I'm gonna place it underneath my right foot, okay? I'm gonna kneel down on my left shin, and the ball is underneath my right foot, and I'm just applying pressure to the very middle sole of my foot. So if you can't see it from the side, it looks like this. I'm just kind of pushing straight down. And then maybe I roll in a little bit, and I roll the arch of the foot, and then I can kind of hold it in the center. So I'm gonna shift forward. Because right now, this opposite foot is getting a little bit stretched as I sit on it with my tailbone. And if you cannot sit like this at all because your knees hurt, you can always stand all the way up. This is just an easier way to not let the pressure be as intense as if you were standing. And now I'm gonna just kind of put the ball directly under my heel, and then I'm gonna put some pressure forward. So it's almost like you're wearing a pair of high heels. So the ball is right here underneath the heel. Good. And again, the harder the ball that you have chosen to use, the different this is going to feel, the longer you can sustain. So I'm going to roll this ball back a little bit towards the front of my foot. And I'm going to roll it in a little bit. Roll it back a little bit. And then I'm noticing that I want a little bit more pressure. So I actually am going to stand up. And you can join me standing if you notice this, that you want that too. And I'm just going to kind of roll the ball underneath my foot and around. Good. And just feel the different sensations. And you can roll it all the way up to your toes. It's the kind of thing you just do over and over again, and it's not done, in 1 minute. So your feet aren't just going to feel better. Now, if you only have 1 minute of time to give to each foot, I would give that over not doing it. But it's the kind of thing where different sensations pop up. So I'm kind of landed right here underneath of the tendon on my big toe, and I can really just feel that it wants a little bit more attention. So I'm staying there. And then maybe I go back to the center, and then I just kind of put all the weight into this foot. And I see, what does it feel like to fully stand on the ball? And even moving back to that heel version, kind of like a high heel. Sometimes the ball will slide out when you do this, by the way. And then again, back to rolling. So what feels good? All right. And then kind of land in a spot again. And now, without realizing it, you've been doing this for a couple of minutes, and you're making sure that that foot that might feel like this, like it's constantly wrapped in saran wrap, is relaxed. I'm going to come back down to seated. So if you're standing, have a seat with me. And then what I want to do is I want to do the other foot. So we want to give it the same attention. So go ahead and place the ball underneath your other foot. And then I'm going to kind of come forward. Let me bring my knee forward. And then stand on the ball. Good. Now this foot is my, I would say, stronger foot. It doesn't get as injured. It doesn't ever seem to cramp up as much or just feel tight. My other foot always feels very tight. This foot doesn't feel as tight. But it's definitely, because it's colder out now, you know, it's harder to keep your feet feeling healthy all the time. Good. And again, I'm just going to kind of put some pressure on the ball and like lean into it. And you may never have started down with one knee down, and that's totally fine. But it's something where I just kind of want you to notice that. Good. So if you are on one knee, we're going to slowly come up to stand. And if you're already standing, we'll join you. And just kind of push and pull and feel the work. Good. And then put a lot of weight in the middle of the foot. Kind of like really lean into the leg. And then exhale, come out of it. Then you're just going to kind of put your heel on the ball and then stand on it again. And again, it's already just been a couple minutes, and we're just moving and moving and moving around on this ball to make sure our feet feel nice and relaxed. So especially if you use your feet a lot because you're a long distance runner, maybe for your job you're standing all day, maybe you walk a long distance to and from work, or maybe your work job isn't just standing, but it's constantly getting up and down, moving up and around stairs, holding heavy items. That can put a lot of pressure on your feet. And then the final opportunity for our feet to not feel healthy throughout the day is the fact that some of us wear the wrong shoes for our feet. So making sure that you have the proper shoes, making sure that even if the shoes look really cute, that maybe you've decided to, you know, find a shoe that feels better for you instead. So again, I found a spot here on this foot. It's kind of under the center of my arch that really doesn't feel well compared to this foot where it was more under my big toe. So I'm just going to stay with it. Maybe roll to the inside one more time. Good, and then from there I'm going to come on down. And the only other thing I would suggest with this ball while you have it is putting the ball in the back of your knee and then bending your knee. And what that's going to do is that's going to press into the hamstring, the calf muscle. It's going to pull on the knee. So any of the muscles that are tight in the bottom of the shin towards the ankle or foot are going to really feel this sensation. Now this is a great place to do it because it's not that challenging because there's not much weight on the leg. To make this a whole lot harder, you bring your knees together and then you start to sit back. And you'll notice I cannot fully sit back because it is way too much tension moving into my calf muscle. But again, it's that same idea of foam rolling, but with this ball, it's more of like a point press. And then just switch it. So I'm gonna switch to the other side. And again, obviously you're feeling this more than just in your foot, but that's the goal, is to kind of make sure those areas that lead to our feet, our knees, hamstrings, calf muscles, shins, ankles, also feel safe. Good, remove that ball and then go ahead and have a seat. I'll do a couple more videos with this in the future where we can place it underneath our tailbone or other parts of our body, maybe even through our back, that feel better. But for now, just make sure your feet stay healthy and that you're smart about what you choose to put on your feet and the activities that you choose to do all day long. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. Thanks, guys.